This is the first time that I feel really nervous doing this, making this video. And I'm gonna really do my best to not let my anxiety take over right now so that I can stay on track, because I think right now this really isn't about me, but I know that later it probably will be. So this is good, because eventually future me is probably gonna need to hear these words, so I'm gonna suck it up. And as always, I think that other people can also get something out of this. At least I hope so, because I'm truly not doing this for my own vanity. I think that the thing that I love most about God is His love. I love God's love. But the thing that I find the coolest about God is that when He does one thing, when He, sets something in motion, it's not just for one purpose. It can be for so many different reasons. I don't know. Whatever, any number. I think it's more than one, and it's more than two, and I don't know how many purposes there could be for a particular, ripple effect or whatever, right? I think that I'm nervous because of what I'm going to share, and what I have to be really vulnerable. And I think that sometimes, maybe all the time, being vulnerable is the only way that we can really connect with each other, and that's like the whole point. I feel very strongly about the fact that my duty here, although the way that it's carried out is different from others, and that's what makes all of us unique, right? I think that my duty here, my role here, is to be a fisher of men. And although for me that looks like, the way that I carry that out, has strongly to do with horses, and sharing my story and sharing kind of, my testimony and my struggles, and sharing also overcoming those things, and just connecting with the people that I meet along the way and everything like that. That's kind of my specific tailored version of it. But I think that as a Christian and as a believer in God, all of our, I think that anyone who identifies like that, our duty is to be fisher of men, meaning, just spreading the word. And I want to spread that word because I ultimately just want us all to live. I want all the people that I care about, and everybody, but obviously, especially the people that I care about, because those are the people that I know, and I want them to all end up in heaven with me. it's it's really strange, the things I've been learning now that I am free of, you know, the abuse that I was putting up with. And just kind of like, it's not even like relearning myself. It's literally like I'm getting to know this completely new person that I didn't know could exist. And it's been really amazing, but it's been really painful as well. And I don't know every single purpose why God had me in that relationship for so long. I know a lot, and I can, speculate as well. But what I'm most grateful for is that I'm even in this position to speculate, to discover this person that I am and that I can be. And I'd have to give a lot of credit to Ryan for providing that space for me. And, giving credit to God, obviously, for even having someone like Ryan exist. And allowing me to even be a part of his life. And him being part of my life. Because this Ryan has been so gracious and patient in providing the space for me that I don't even, it's like, it's funny, it's like, I think that in general, he doesn't like intentionally provide the space for me. I don't think that he wakes up and goes, I'm gonna do this for her. Like, it's just part of who he is. He doesn't even need to think about it. He just is that way. And I've learned so much. And so because this space is provided, because this space exists for me, I've seen a lot of like, it's like now that I guess my subconscious or my soul or however you want to put it now feels safe to even, have certain things bubble up and just surface there's things about me, like, some pretty dark stuff about me that I didn't know, that I didn't realize that I was suppressing, you know. And I don't know exactly how to word it, but it's like I've had these really bad episodes, and it's not pretty, and it really hurts when I'm in them. And I can, like, when that's happening, when I'm, feeling like this sort of rage or just injustice or fear or whatever it is, right? I there's this other part of me that's almost like separates itself, and I can see myself doing whatever it is, screaming or crying or whatever it is, and just being like, wow, you know. There's just so much I didn't know. And, it's really interesting that if I hadn't gone through all of that, abuse that was really just kind of like this horrible psychological warfare, I wouldn't appreciate at the same level that I do. I wouldn't appreciate all the big and little things that Ryan does for me. I don't know if he even recognizes it sometimes, and it's like I can't ever say thank you enough to him and to God. And I can't ever, I still, like, obviously I get really emotional about it because it's like, now that I'm out of it, I see where I was during all that abuse, and I can look back, and it's like I almost died. Like, my soul almost died. And I really was just one step away from totally giving up. That person really had me believing that was how my life was going to be forever. Like, I really had almost just completely rolled over and just was going to accept that that's how I should live my life, and and just feeling so deserving of that abuse. Being able to look at this time with Ryan and reflecting on just how different, I mean, astronomically different my life is now. And I didn't think that ever could be possible. It blows my mind how patient he is with me. I know, and I can see it. I can see it when I'm kind of losing it. Because I get triggered or whatever, and he just totally, he just gets caught in the crossfire, because I would, in my right mind, and I'm not in those moments, in my right mind, God, I would never speak to someone that way. I would never act that way. And to just, my separate self, that's able to kind of step out and watch this as it's happening and see him handle it. I feel horrible. And it's really hard to not just be so overwhelmed with shame and guilt when after like it's all said and done and I'm looking back on, those moments, those episodes. It's really crazy. Ryan has taught me and has shown me, how I am actually supposed to be treated, and what like real intimacy can look like, and what real like a lot of grace and patience looks like, and just a completely different perspective. I have a really hard time in social settings, and I have a really hard time with having like anything that kind of goes against what I thought was the plan for the day or the year or the month or whatever. I'm a planner, and I felt really safe in my planning and knowing what to expect. And that's good because it's healthy to have a routine, but the way that it developed for me it was plain and simple a survival skill. And so I became, just extremely rigid. And, Ryan has shown me that it's okay to kind of, deviate from the plan from time to time. It's about balance. There's in everything, but I think it's good to have a routine. It's good to have schedule. That's healthy. It is, but it's also healthy to sprinkle in moments of, like he says, just stumbling into the day, or however he says it. I've that makes me really anxious, but I can't deny that when on those days where I just kind of give in to that, just give in to being spontaneous, I've had some fun. And I've learned a lot. This is the most awake I have ever been in my entire life. And I don't know if this is the scariest time of my life either. Because it's hard to compare, because it's like the 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 conditioning and the training that was going on, that I was unaware of all that happening, but the conditioning was so strong that my brain just decided to start suppressing these things by itself. It's not like I had the thought sentence of, oh, well, I'm just going to tuck this away. It wasn't like my brain did that automatically by itself. So I don't know, because now it's like this kind of like delayed reaction, response, or I'm not really sure how to put into words. But it's very interesting, because I've had just these horrible nights, moments, what have you, of just feeling true terror at a level that, just this immense level of fright. And then I've had other times of just seriously incredible joy. I just, Ryan restored my hope. God restored my hope through Ryan, because we're all vessels. He really, where instead of having this kind of mindset of like, well, yeah, well, I deserve that. I deserve this bad thing. I deserve this bad feeling. Instead of having that mindset, it's now like, what's next? I'm excited about what's next, instead of being scared of what's next. I mean, I have moments like that still too. I'm human and healing, but it's more so hope and excitement. And I just, we are in a really crazy time right now. There's like, we're in a time where there's going to be a lot of things that are happening right now. They're going to be historical. They're, like the next few generations, or this is going to be in the books. There's some crazy stuff going on right now, and I just, what I'm seeing out in the general world is kind of a lack of hope. And I just I just want to pass on that don't give up. When you're in the thick of it, it's really, really hard. I know it's really hard to see the light at the end. It really is. But there is a light at the end. And I don't want myself, and I don't want anyone else to just be so consumed or overwhelmed in just that moment that you give up on the rest of the timeline. Please don't do that. That is when the faith is really important. And I've been trying to lean into those moments and kind of reframing it where it's not a moment of despair, it's a moment of a mistake of me not choosing the right mindset, I guess you could say. And because, you know, and so leaning into those moments of mistakes, because mistakes is where the learning happens. And I love learning. That's the thing. It's like, so you can go through that really uncomfortable part and come out of it and be able to reflect back on it and learn something. And then you have this new knowledge and you can move forward with it into the next, because there will be another, you know, uncomfortable moment, painful moment, and you can keep just like I was saying, you know, in my last video with Haley, is that it's all the chain links and the chunks and the chain links and the chunks, and you have these breakthroughs, and like you just keep taking those pieces, those new pieces of knowledge into the next obstacle or whatever you want to call it, right? And you just keep building off of that, and you get better and better each time. That's kind of, you know, that's really what I'm leaning on right now. And quite frankly, I've been rewatching my own God Gave Me Haley video a lot because I've really needed it. I've needed to hear myself say certain things. One thing's for sure, because I have to keep it simple in those moments, you know, for myself, like when I'm having an episode, I can't really, I'll spiral out of control if I have too big of a concept. So what I think about is like the one promise, the vow that I've made to myself is I am never, ever going to give up. I'm never going to roll over and give up. I am not. That is simply not going to happen. I am not going to do that ever again. I'm not going to just accept that I deserve bad things. I'm going to keep going. And knowing that episode, that bad night, that whatever, that discomfort, it is going to end. And I just have to make it to the other side. I am going to have my breakthrough. That's, you know, I have to, and I vow that to myself, because I have to have something to cling on to when I'm in that moment, because it is so difficult when you're right in the middle of it. And it really does feel like it's the end of the world in those moments, but it's not, and you know better. You know better than that. Because you remember that you've had other breakthroughs before. The thing is that the older that I get and the more that I'm processing, the more that I go through this healing, man, God, this particular breakthrough that I'm not yet at, but I'm working towards is going to be so delicious. I know, because this has been the most painful one to get to. And I'm really grateful for these people sticking by me while I go through this, and especially Ryan, because he gets the brunt of it. He actually is the one that witnesses most of this with me, and it's not pretty. There's no way I'm well, I don't want to say that, but I'm just a different person, but golly, I don't even want to be around myself when I'm like that. But Ryan he's just so good to me that he's still here. And I don't want to take advantage of that. My dad said just because he can take it doesn't mean you should, dish it out to him. And it's not like I intentionally do that. I just, I get triggered, and, I have these trauma responses. I have a lot of trauma debris, and I'm trying not to bleed all over the one who didn't cut me, But that's really hard, and I can't tell you, I don't know if I've ever put in so much effort to, work on myself. And I cannot say enough, how, God, the level of appreciation that I have for Ryan for providing this space for me to be just a crazy person sometimes. And, I've just spending all this time with Ryan, and then, reading my Bible and taking all these notes that I have here, and making annotations actually in the Bible, and doing all of that, and also all these factors coming together and everything like that is just been a really amazing experience. And just, again, just when I think that I'm, God's just good. It's like, just when I think that it can't get better, does it again? I just truly feel that, my whole life has been kind of leading up to this particular breakthrough that I'm going to have, that I'm about to reach. God, I can just almost taste it. And it's like that's, because I'm a threat to the darkness. Because I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to, and I don't know what, but again, I'm excited to see, but I'm getting closer to the thing, to the version of me, to this version of me, that needs to be here in this world. The harder the darkness comes after me. he's really, man, he's really doubling down on me. And it's been really scary, and I've really been struggling. But I am not giving into that. And I'm not going to be scared away from this, you know? And in fact, it's like, bring it on, because that just means I'm getting closer to where I'm supposed to be anyways. So it doesn't matter, because I'm always going to come out of it regardless. You know, none of us are forsaken. We've not been forgotten. And there's a specific way that God wants us to carry out our role of being fishers of men. You know, and it's just simply not going to happen. Ryan has been kind of this, like, I've known all of that, right? But it was like I've been reading, it's like I've been reading that book with just like a nightlight on. And Ryan has come on and flicked on the whole ceiling fan light for me. And it's like such a natural thing to him. Like I said, like I don't know if he even thinks about it that way. I don't know if he's like, I don't think that it's like necessarily his intention. I think his intention is just, you know, to be a good person and to make people smile, and, you know, other slew of things that are, you know, in that realm. But I don't know if he is aware of just how much of a light he has been in my life. I am so grateful for him. And, you know, obviously there's still parts of me that are operating out of fear, and I'm trying to change that. And I really want to lean more into him and give this trust. And it's like, you know, I really just want to be able to do it right now and snap my fingers. But that's just not how it's going to go down. And so I have to be patient and give myself the patience that he's been giving me. And, man, learning how to love yourself is, it is so difficult. But I just, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I would like to think that everybody has someone in their life that is really rooting for them and just wants to help. And it's hard because we're scared, and we're just like, but what if you hurt me too? But what if you took a chance and just let it happen? And you got to develop and cultivate that friendship and that relationship, or, you know, whatever. What if it's finally time for you to change your mindset, and instead of saying, what if I get hurt, what if I have fun? What if something good comes out of this? instead of constantly living out of fear. I hope that you can make a vow to yourself that you will not give up. That is not in your vocabulary anymore. That is not an option anymore. That is nowhere near your mind anymore. You will not give up. No matter how hard the night gets, no matter how uncomfortable you feel in your skin in that moment, you are not going to give up. You literally are designed to have a victory. You're literally wired to win. We all have specific, specialized, unique victories that are made just for us. So act like that. Walk like that. Speak like that. Move like that. It's yours for the taking. We live in a really crazy time. There's a lot of different influences and things like that. I'm not going to let myself get sucked into it, and I don't want you to get sucked into it. Go find the Ryans in your life. Go find the Haleys in your life. You know? Go find your tribe. Be with your tribe. Build each other up. And refuse to give up. That'd be silly to, anyways. You literally have a win with your name on it. So, go get what's rightfully yours. Your inheritance. Enjoy those moments leading up to it, too. Don't get so caught up in trying to get to that end goal that you forget to kind of slow yourself down and smell the roses. I hope you'll have a good night.